okay, WYRD Dungeon. It's done. It's complete. It's out the door. We've shipped a bunch of people that have bought them. We're trying to fulfill it for everybody. So now it's time to have a post-mortem. So we're going to break this down into things that went well, that I did right, and things that did not go well or that I did wrong. So first things first, what went right? What did I do well? I think the first choice to make this based off of disaster tourism's WYRD framework was the right way to go. It was a system that was already pretty much complete, solid, and that I just had to build off of. I had a game that I had already been developing that worked really well with it. I just had to change a few mechanics here and there and then just expand upon it. Because I just wanted to have a game that was basically a small randomizer, dungeon randomizer in your hand that you could play. And just with some roll of dice and just off you go. You didn't have to do any prep whatsoever and make it very collaborative. And I think it succeeded with that with WYRD Dungeon. If you happen to catch the Twitch stream on +1EXP, we did that. We played it live and just went and had a great time improvising the whole way through just based off of what we rolled here and the players using the things in the book, and it was super awesome. Using Kickstarter, right way to go, just because with your first time out, it is the big dog on campus. Everybody knows the name. People trust it. And so that was just the right choice at this time. Releasing it during February, during Zemo, also the right choice. I just got a bit more of a boost, a little bit more eyes on it, which was great. And so we were able to fulfill the pledges. Almost got to the 3K mark, very close. So I just went ahead and just said, okay, we unlocked the whole thing because I really wanted to do this UV spot, gloss UV, and get that perfect bound. So, does it feel tricksy? I don't know, to ask for this much and not get it, but still give everybody. I think people are still happy to get the really cool book, so I'm not too worried about that. Using BackerKit for the pledges and the surveys, also the right choice. If you're planning on doing this, I really recommend using BackerKit just because they have an automated system to kind of make sure your pledge is hitting all the notes that it needs to hit. And they, will say, hey, this isn't right, fix this. And then they have a live person that will go through and then check it once again to really make sure things are good. And it was that live person touch that really set it over the top for me. And I really loved that, having that a person to talk to and make sure everything was tip-top and that customers could get exactly what they ordered. For printing, using Mix'em, absolutely 100%. If you are going to use a printer that's not in state or local to you, please, I would say, recommend definitely use Mix'em. Their prices are great. And of course, again, this Spot UV is fantastic. They were able to do this spine on 36 pages. It's the smallest they could possibly do. And they did it. I tried to call local people here in my area, and they could not do this perfect bound with that many pages. So that's awesome. Hats off to them for being able to do it. And not only printing it, but getting it to me within a pretty good time frame for the type of book that it is. And then also, finally, I think things I did right was just trying to keep everybody constantly updated with what was going on. At least once a week, once every other week. I really tried to be as open and as transparent with everybody that's backed. And just when things didn't go right, as soon as I found out things didn't go right, letting them know. I think for something that was backed in February to be having shipped and have it in people's hands here, what was this, June, is great turnaround. Especially for a lot of games that I've backed, RPGs that I've backed, it could take 8 months or more to a year. And to get it within, 4 months, 3 months, something like that, I'm really happy with that. I wanted it sooner, and it could have been sooner, except for a miss-up, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But it was great to get it there into everybody's hands in the amount of time that I did. So let's talk about what I did wrong and things I could have done better. I think it was maybe overly ambitious to go for the Spot UV and perfect bound on this size of book on your first time out. I couldn't help myself. I wanted my first book, my first splash into the industry, because this was really my introduction into the industry and put my name out there. I really wanted something spectacular, and it is. But I don't know if we'll have to see, I guess, if the price was worth it and if the amount of headache was worth it to get this Spot UV to work. Because here's what ended up happening. I uploaded the artwork to mix them as I thought they were requesting it. Unfortunately, I did it incorrectly, and I did not find out until they were about to ship me the books. And I happened to go look at the proof once again and went, wait, something doesn't look right. It doesn't have the ad in the back, and it's showing a double print of the cover. And unfortunately, it was a bad batch of 150 books that were not the books I wanted to send to customers. So what ended up happening is I had to tell them to stop production, but they were already pretty much done. They were pretty much wrapping it up. They recycled the books, told them to recycle them, got back what I could, and reordered 150 copies of the right book. And it cost me $800. Just be fully transparent. So that's how much I ended up losing to make sure the right book got out there. But it was worth it to me to make sure that the right book got into everybody's hands. The book that I wanted to make sure was in everybody's hands. In retrospect, what I probably should have done is had them send me the misprints and then reordered the correct ones, but kept the misprints and sold them at a cheaper rate, trying to make some of that money back. But I was just kind of a little distraught at the time and told them just recycle the pages. So that's something I've learned, in the future. Maybe just deal with the misprints. Try to make that money back some way that you can, because I definitely did not make enough back in the recycling portion of that. Something I think may be a problem, misstep, was accepting international shipping. I'm just a single person. And I don't know if I'm doing it correctly. I hope it gets to my international customers fine. And I did all the VAT and all the expenses that are necessary to get to them. But we'll see. And from my understanding, it might be a while before I find out if it did not do correctly. So we'll see. But I wanted to make sure I could offer it to as many people who wanted it as possible, right? I didn't want to cut anybody out and make it a U.S.-centric kind of game. But it may bite me. We'll see. Finally, self-fulfillment. Should I have done it myself? I was okay to. I went with Pirate Ship to do all my shipping. They were able to save me some money on the shipping costs, which I was then able to put into my own label printer and print out my own labels very quick and efficiently, get all the packaging. The problem is I didn't know much about packaging. So I spent a long time trying to figure out, how to do this and buying the right materials. And it was just more expenses I wasn't necessarily prepared for or understanding what I needed. Luckily, I got everything, and everything has gone out for people in the U.S. People have been getting all their stuff, but it was just kind of a headache. And now I only did physically about 80-something parcels. If I had to do like 200, 300, no way. Would not, I can tell you right now, would not do that on my own. So if you're getting into this and you think you're going to hit that many, find a fulfillment partner, somebody that's going to help you get those to the customers. They'll store it, they'll package it, they have those resources. It's worth paying them, I think, to get it done. Because you're going to look at it and go, well, I'm going to have to pay them to do this thing. Yeah, but you're also going to have to pay, potentially, label printer, which is about $200 to $300, something like that. You're gonna have to buy all the packaging material. You're gonna have to store all the packaging material for whatever's left over. You might have to buy more than what you necessarily need. So it's probably better to go with a fulfillment partner. That's something that I've learned there. So overall, what would I change? Probably the fulfillment partner. That's probably the biggest thing. But otherwise, I think I'd probably do everything exactly the same. I know I went on about the UV spot, and it was kind of a pain, but man, the end product just looks so good that I think it was worth it. I think in the end, it's going to be worth it. I'm happy with the product. I'm happy to sit this on my shelf. I think it looks great. And for a first-time product, fantastic. Super excited about that. So what's next? I'm working on a game jam for Down We Go. It's the Down We Jam for +1 EXP. I'm developing an adventure for that's 4-part dungeon that's really exciting called the Jewel of Infinitopolis, and can't wait to start talking more about that and sharing things with that as it gets closer to being done. Always, the Crypt is Open is in production and playtesting, and we just had a really awesome game designer check out the rules and hit me with something that's probably fundamentally going to change the dice resolution mechanic. So thank you so much to Binary Star Games for hitting me with that and kind of making me rethink things, which is good. I think we don't ever, as game designers, want to be too comfortable in our mechanics and thinking everything is locked in. You want to be still open, no matter what, to things changing, if it means they're changing for the better, right? So those are the big things on the horizon. If you want to pick up WYRD Dungeon and you want a physical copy, there will be physical copies at Exalted Funeral and Cave Evil. I'll announce those when they're finally actually on the online stores. I still have a few books myself, a few physical books, so you can pick those up at the pre-order store right now while they're still there. There's not many left. We do have a few number left of the art book, which I was very excited to still have a bunch of these left. If you really want to see a lot of art in the book at a much higher resolution and more true to their original size, the art book is something to pick up, especially because I have full write-ups as to what I was thinking when drawing this and more about the art process in general. So the artwork of the WYRD Dungeon is out there and ready to go. Obviously, if you want a digital copy, you can get that on our itch. Or what I would recommend is actually going to playroll.com. And for $10, you can get the PDF there on the VTT, as well as a digital character sheet. And you have the virtual tabletop ready to go at your fingertips. I love Roll. I think they're a fantastic platform, and they need more people to know about it and more people using it. So very excited to be a part of them. And if you use that, physical or digital or otherwise, we have the WYRD Randomizer, WYRD-randomizer.com, which is a online resource for you to help you randomize your dungeon. At the click of a button, you get the level name, the traps, the treasures, the monsters, and all that kind of stuff. Full thing for the factions, like kind of cool stuff there. That took some time to develop, and I wrote it all myself and did the artwork again myself. This is the one-man shop for the most part, whenever I can. But we got that out there for everybody. But despite all of that, while I said a one-man shop, I could not have done this without Baymax Games helping with the editing. I could not have done this without Disaster Tourism for all their connections into the industry and support. And Kirby, thank you so much for everything that you've done for me. And a shout out to Crab Dominion for all of his support as well throughout this process and bouncing ideas off of and, sending them things. Thank you very much to the Titterpig Academy. You all have been amazing as well. It's a Discord group I'm a part of. And in the future going forward, keep a lookout for things that we're putting out there. And we can't wait to announce when the Jewel Infinitopolis is going to be able to hit your little eyeballs. All right. I'm suffering from a sinus infection. I'm going to go take all the medicine. Bye.